Okay, let's get started. So I have this copy paper. I'm going to try to show you how I'm going to cut my fabric with the copy paper, and then I'll cut my fabric. That way you can see kind of how to fold your fabric, okay? So I'm just going to take my copy paper, and I have two pieces um, taped together, okay? Hopefully you can see the tape, but it's two pieces of copy paper taped together. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to measure down and then angle my ruler at an angle, okay? And then I'm going to use my paper rotary cutter and slice the paper. Uh-oh. Okay. So when after you cut it, this is what you're going to end up with, like a little diagonal um, piece of paper, okay? And then I'm going to fold this onto itself, just like this. So just make sure that your corners, the edge match. And then this is going to come down and it should go evenly, just like this. So this flap, and then this is my pattern. So this is basically what the pattern looks like. And I'm gonna just tell you, try your best to cut off exactly what you need. Don't cut much more, okay? So now I'm gonna take my paper and I'm gonna use it for my fabric. So let me tell you what I've already done off camera. I took a piece of fabric and added another piece of fabric. You don't have to do this. You can leave your front one solid piece. I also added batting and then I quilted those lines on my fabric just because that's what I wanted mine to look like, okay? So if I take my pattern and place it onto my fabric, so let me see here. If I do it like that, then I fold it. Yes, okay, this is the way that I want it. So my pattern, and I just made this pattern just from looking at another tutorial, so it may or may not be correct. We're gonna find out today. We're gonna find out today. Okay, so I'm gonna pin this down. And disclaimer, this may be a long video. Oh, and I forgot to tell you what I was making. So I'm making a cover to go on top. I mean, to put enclose this little tablet. It doesn't work. I just using this as my template to show you how to do it. This tablet measures 7.5 in height and 4 3/4 width. Okay, 7.5 height, 3 3/4 width. Okay, so I'm going to make the cover to place that tablet inside of. It's going to be bigger than that tablet. because you should be able to use it for many things, not just this particular tablet that I have. So, and I apologize, this video started out really, really weird, but we're gonna make it work, okay? So I have my template, and I'm just going to follow. I'm going to follow this template and cut this top part off. Okay. So this is what you should have left from your template. So you're going to measure whatever device or book you want this sleeve to be for. You're going to measure it, and you're going to double your amount of fabric for the width and the height, okay? Double the amount of fabric for the width and the height. All right. I'm just showing you how to sew it and cut it, but I really can't give you dimensions because everybody's tablets and books will be totally different from mine, okay? But if you would like the dimensions that I'm using, leave me a comment and I will put them in the comment section. Okay, so this is what I have. I can remove my template now. I don't need it. You can keep it and use it for more projects if you choose to. So I have some bias tape. I'm going to run my bias tape along here, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. Give me just a second. So this is the bias tape that I picked up at Walmart. This is the bias tape extra wide double fold, okay? I'm going to put it up to the screen just in case you need a screenshot and go get this, okay? So I got the color orange because really that's all they had. They did have like this yellow gold color, but I decided to just get the orange. I'm just going to take it out of the package. And what we're going to, and this is a 3-inch, I'm sorry. This zipper is 22 inches long, but the teeth of this zipper is 3. It's a number 3. I suggest you use a number 4.5 or a number 5 zipper. But this is all that I had in my stash, and I was not going to go purchase anything to show you this project, okay? I purchased this at Hobby Lobby, and it was on sale for 99 cents. So I'm going to put it in the camera. But I do recommend you to get a number 3 zipper or a number 5 zipper. Let me show you what that looks like just in case you are new and don't know what a number 5 zipper looks like. The teeth are totally different, okay? So this is a number 5 teeth. It gives you more width on the side of the zipper to work with. So let's compare. This is a number 3, and I'm going to put it directly on top of the teeth. And do you see you have more fabric on both sides to work with and sew? You can find the nylon zipper number 5 just like this. This one is a metal zipper. And if you don't really know how to sew with the zippers, I suggest you stick with the nylon zipper teeth, okay? Excuse me. I'm coming. Give me a second. All right. So what we're going to do first is take our bias tape. And I'm going to measure my bias tape. and I'm going to leave about 1.5 inches from the edge. So this is my bias tape. I'm just running it across. I'm gonna also leave 1.5 inches at the bottom, and I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, so now I have my bias tape. I'm going to open my bias tape. So all you do is open it, and this is what it should look like on the inside when you open it. I am going to take my bias tape. I am going to lay it down on top of my pretty side of the fabric, pretty side of the bias tape, and line this up on the edge. And I'm going to pin this down so when I take it to the sewing machine, I can sew down straight. Okay, you're just going to do a straight stitch, and you're going to what am I saying? A straight stitch. And I normally use a 3mm stitch length for this to hold down the bias tape. And once you sew down this edge, you're going to take your bias tape. So it's going to do this, and you're going to flip it. So it's going to be held down, and then you're going to flip it over. This side will be down, and that side will be on the opposite side. Let me see if I can do it like this. You're folding it over, and it's going to end up creating like this on both sides. So I'm going to finish pinning this, and I'll come back and show you the next step. So just to show you, we all make mistakes, right? And I don't know, I wasn't thinking. So let me show you from the top again about the bias tape, because I get confused all the time when it's single or double bias tape. But let me see if I can explain this to where you will understand how to do it, okay? So the bias tape came on the roll, folded like this. I'm going to open it up, and so now you should see the inside of the bias tape, okay? So it have a flap, and it have another flap, right? I am going to take this flap and place it on my fabric. So I open the flap. Let me show you again. It's folded. I opened it once, and then I took the top flap and opened it again. I'm going to lay this down onto my fabric, right sides to right side, pretty side to pretty side, whichever way you describe it. And I'm just going to pin this down. I was going to go and pin it down, but I'm like, no, let me show, just in case somebody like me gets confused. So just make sure that that top flap stays open all the way down, and just pin it. So just like this. This is what you should have. This flap is open. This flap over here is closed. Do you see that? It's still folded. It's still folded. And so we will take it to the sewing machine and run a straight stitch along the edge. I am going to be using about a scant of 1/4 inch. So a scant of 1/4 inch on my sewing machine. When I get to the sewing machine, I'm going to show you what I'm using, and I'm going to be using my 1/4 inch foot, and then I'm going to end up changing my foot to my stitch in the ditch foot. I think I found it, but we'll see once we get to the sewing machine. So I'm going to take this to the sewing machine, and I'm going to stitch it all the way down, and then I'm going to come back and show you what that looks like. Okay, I'm going to show you at the sewing machine. Okay, here we are at the sewing machine, and I have my 1/4-inch foot on. Let me show you what that looks like. This is for people who don't know, okay? This is my 1/4-inch foot. This is my 1/4-inch foot, 1/4 inch sewing foot, okay? That's what I'm going to use to attach my bias binding. And it's a drop-in foot, all right? So I have my bias binding, and I'm just going to show you in this camera one more time what I have going on. So this is the bias binding on top of the pretty side of the fabric, okay? I left about 1.5 inches of fabric on the edge. When you open it up, it's open, it's closed like this in the package. You open it up like this, and you will see it come together like that. And then you're going to take this top flap, open it up again, and line it up with the edge of your fabric, okay? And so now we're going to stitch right along in the middle. So like in the middle between this line and that line, in the middle, catching our fabric and the bias tape all at the same time, okay? And I'm just going to be using a straight stitch. It's on 3 millimeters. My tension is in between 3 and 4, and my needle is in the center. It's in the center of my foot. So let me get this on here right. And then I'm going to try to bring you closer to this side of my machine. So hold on, let me see. Let me try to get you closer so you can see. And disclaimer, you might get a little rocky because like you are directly behind the sewing machine, okay? But I just wanted you to see how I lined my fabric up against the presser foot. But I'm only sewing a scant of 1/4 inch because my true 1/4 inch would have been right here. Hopefully you can see that. But I am just a little bit to the left of the 1/4 inch, okay? So I'm just going to keep my fabric aligned here as I sew. And I am going to backstitch. You want to kind of backstitch a couple of times. Adjust your fabric as you go, okay? Adjust your fabric. Also, make sure that you try your best to stop with the needle down inside of the fabric. And when I come to the edge, I'm going to leave. I'm not going to sew all the way to the bottom. But I am going to backstitch a couple of times. And then I'm going to pull it off. And I'm just going to move my sewing machine so that I can show you what this looks like. So if I move my fabric, you see that it's sturdy. So it's attached to my fabric. I'm trying to show you the stitches, but I think the color of the stitching is hard to see. Okay, I'm just going to cut off these little threads. And I am going to, so I'm going to show you from here. So this is one top part of the triangle. Let me show you from the front. See, this is the top part of the triangle right here. I'm just flipping it over. And on this edge of my triangle, I'm going to fold the little flap that I left on the edge. Okay, I'm just going to fold it up and fold it in just like that. Fold it up and fold it into the lining part, not the main part of your fabric. Fold it towards the lining part of your fabric. And then you're going to take the top part of the fold and fold it onto itself. Okay, so this is the front. And all I did was open. It was already open. I'm folding it towards the lining, towards the back of the fabric. Okay. Hopefully you see it and it makes sense. So I'm just going to pin this. And then I'm just going to, okay, let me show you this. This is the front. Okay. Remember, we just sewed it down across the edge onto itself. So the pretty side of my bias tape to the pretty side of my fabric. This is my stitch line right here. Oh, I wish y'all could see the stitches. There you go. You see the stitches? Okay, so this is the stitch line, right? I'm going to take this part of my bias tape and I'm going to fold it over towards the lining. And you see the bias tape comes with a crease. That crease should be on top of your fabric. It should line up with this raw edge of your fabric. Okay. So I'm just folding it over. Folding it over. That's it. And then I'm just going to pin it. Make sure that both edges or both of your bottoms stay folded and nice and neat. Okay. And then I'm going to just fold this one over and pin it up. And when I come to the edge, the other end, I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm going to and I'm going to cut some of this off because I don't need that much. I don't need that much to flap. Okay. So I'm just going to take this, fold it onto itself, and then fold it towards the lining, just like that. And I'm just trying to fix it so to make it look a little neat. And then I'm going to pin it. And then we're going to go to the sewing machine, right? And this is the back. This is my lining. This is going to be on the inside. So whatever thread you have on top of your machine, if you want it to be seen inside the lining, you're going to sew with it right side, this side up. If you want the top threads to be seen on this side of your fabric, you're going to sew with this side, right side up. So I want my top fabric, my top thread to be seen on this side. So I'm going to sew just like this in my machine. So, and I'm just going to line it up. And I want to catch as close to the edge of this bias tape as possible. I want to catch the edge, and I'm still stitching with the 3mm stitch. I hope that you can see this video and understand this video as I am trying my best to explain it. Okay, I'm going to back stitch. And just remove my pins as I go. You may have to roll your fabric just to be able to keep everything underneath the sewing machine. Put my pin on upside down. It's okay. Oh, I'm getting off a little bit. And when you come to the edge, you want to back stitch. And then when you take it off of the machine, just check that you caught. You want to make sure that you caught the bias tape, the fabric, and your batting. You want to make sure that you caught all those layers. So my bias tape got a little loose down here, but it still caught everything. And sometimes the bias tape will kind of like spread a little bit. So you can use like some Elmer's glue like this, the wash away Elmer's glue, and tack it down and then sew it. Okay, but this is what the front looks like. Okay, so the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back to the table so that I can show you how to insert our zipper. Okay, we're going to do the zipper now. Okay, so we back at the table. So now we're going to assemble our zipper. And you want your zipper to be longer than your project on both sides. So whatever your length is right here, you want it to have some zipper left on this side. And you also want to have additional zipper left on this side. So your zipper will be at least 2 to 4 inches longer than your project. Okay, 2 to 4 inches. So it'll be, if you have 4 inches left of your zipper after measuring across here, you're going to leave 2 inches on this side and 2 inches on this side. If you only have 2 inches left off after you have measured your zipper, you're going to leave 1 inch on this side and 1 inch on this side. Whatever you do to one side, you do to the other side. Okay? So don't be afraid. Okay? Don't be afraid of this part because we're going to have to cut our zipper. Don't be afraid. It's okay. So I want to measure my zipper first, and I'm going to leave about an inch on one side and an inch. Let me do an inch and a half. I'm gonna just eyeball an inch and a half worth of zipper on both ends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this end, and I'm also going to cut this end 1.5 inches away from my project. Okay. So let me get something to show you what I'm doing. Let me see. Maybe I can put this white piece of paper down. Just give me 1 second, because I do want you to see this and I want you to understand it. Okay. So I'm going to measure. And you don't have to do this. I'm just trying to show you what I'm doing. Okay. You don't have to do it like this. I mean, you do have to prepare the zipper like this, but you don't have to necessarily mark it. Okay. Ooh, I can't see that one. Hold on. Let's see. This is my 1 and this is my half. Okay. So let me just show you. Hopefully you can see my lines on that I've drawn. So this is where my fabric is going to start. And this is what I'm going to cut off. And then on this side, this is where my fabric is going to start. And this is the part that I'm going to cut off. So I'm going to have this much left over after I line my fabric back up with this. Okay. So let me show you. This is the front of the zipper. Okay. I'm going to cut off the zipper. I'm going to pull my zipper tab back just a little bit. Pull your zipper tab back. And then try to get this straight and cut it off. So you're trying to get rid of this metal piece that's on the zipper, that comes with the zipper. If you have continuous zippers that you use, you won't have this metal piece, okay? But this is a all-purpose store-bought zipper, and so you have to cut the metal piece off. Hopefully you was able to see that. So now my zipper is cut on this edge, and I'm just going to cut this edge. All right. So now my zipper is cut. This is the back. This is the front. I am going to take my zipper tab off completely. Take it off completely. Okay. And I'm going to use one section of my zipper. It does not matter if you use the top part that came off of your zipper or the bottom. It does not matter. Just choose one side. We're going to be working with one side only. Okay. So this is the top. Okay. So this is the top. This is the teeth. Let me see if you can see this. So this is the zipper teeth facing up. The zipper teeth facing up. Okay. So you want to be able to feel the zipper teeth facing up. I'm going to take this, and I can see my line through the zipper. I'm just going to match that up with the zipper teeth facing up. And I'm going to pin this down all the way down. You can glue this part or pin it. I'm going to clip it. Let me find me some clips. Sorry if I'm a little loud because I got close to the speaker, to the thingamajig. Okay, so I'm going to get my clips and I'm going to clip my zipper in place. Making sure that, and I'm going to show you that it is a little ways, hold on, a little ways away from the zipper teeth. And I mean just a little. And you want to make sure that this part stays straight. Don't forget that your zipper teeth is faced up when you do this part. And I am not going to cut out any part of this video because I want you to see exactly what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. And that's just that. So it may be a little long video, but I'm trying to show it to you step by step. So some people appreciate that and some don't. And if you don't, keep it pushing. All right. So this is how close I got to the zipper teeth. I'll show you on the other camera because I think it's more lighting. I'm not sure why my lighting over here is so. Oh, let me see. Let me turn on this light and see if that will help. Hold on. Okay, maybe. So let me put this little paper back here. Maybe that will help. So if you can see how much I left from the zipper to the fabric. So you want to leave just a little bit. And see right here where it's starting to buckle. When I get to the sewing machine, I'm definitely going to have to check this, hold on to it, and make sure that it sews down straight. So remember, my zipper teeth is facing up. You should be able to feel the zipper teeth facing up. This is the right side of my fabric. So this is the part of the fabric that you will see on the outside of the book cover. Okay. Make sure it's facing up. Line it up to the best of your ability without touching the zipper teeth. Now we're going to go to the sewing machine. And all I'm doing is switching cameras, you guys. I have stopped the video, but I'm not going to edit it. Okay. So now let's go to the sewing machine. Okay. So now we're at the sewing machine. And I'm going to change my presser foot to my stitch in the ditch foot. And let me get this paper so that you can see what the stitch in the ditch foot looks like. This is my stitch in the ditch. And do you see this little metal piece that's right there on the edge? That is the ditch. The piece, this little metal piece that's sticking out, that is the ditch. Okay, so this is what the foot looks like. If you have one of these in your sewing thingamajigs, in your sewing case. So all I have to do, let's see. Trying to get it to where you can see. Okay. All I have to do okay, so I was trying to show you, all I do is push this little button right here, I'm sorry, I'm gonna lift my presser foot up first, and then I'm going to push this little button, and that presser foot will fall off. And then all I'm going to do is slide this one in. Make sure that it's lined up with that little bar and drop it down. And now my presser foot is loaded. Okay. Make sure that your thread is in that little hole. Hold on, let me see. Make sure your thread is in between this little hole. I don't know if you can see the hole, but it's a hole right here. I'm gonna take it out. Make sure that your thread is in that hole, in the hole. Okay. The top thread. Make sure your top thread is in the middle of that hole. All right. So I'm going to have to move my needle to the right one time, maybe. Let's see. So, and then before you start stitching, make sure that your needle is clear, because they have a little bar in between the window. In between that window, there's a bar. And you do not want your needle to be caught in that bar. So just clear it with your hand wheel first, okay? So now I'm going to bring my project to the sewing machine. And what I want to do is that little bar that I showed you, I want to nest that. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring y'all to this other side. Hold on. I'm going to pause and come right back. Hold on. Okay. This part is going to be a little shaky. However, I want to be able to show you where the bar is. So let me take this clip out. Okay, I'm going to try my best to hold it as much as I can. You see the bar? My bar is aligned with this edge of the fabric. And I need to make sure that my zipper foot stays over there. But I can't do it and hold the phone. But you see, if you can look in the back of my machine, how my zipper tape, the zipper is leaning to this side. I'm going to make sure that it stays even with this side of my presser foot as I sew, and my foot, my needle will be right along this edge. Let me see. Can you see the bar where I was telling you, do not let your needle touch this bar right here? Okay. So I'm going to put y'all back and I'm going to get to sewing. So hold on. And hopefully you understood that, or you understand it. Okay. I tried to do the best I could by showing it to you. Okay. So I'm just going to sew straight down. And just take your time. It's not a race. Always try to stop with your needle down. And I'm just sewing a straight stitch all the way down, still using the 3mm stitch. So I'm back stitching at the end, and then I'm going to take this off and show you what it looks like. So this is the zipper teeth, and then this is the fabric. And what I'm going to do is run another row of stitching in the middle. So in between these two stitches. I'm just doing that for security. You do not have to, because technically it is sewn down, okay? But I'm extra, and so I'm going to do that, and I'll show you what it looks like. And I'm not going to show you to sew it. When I come back, I'll show you the line in the middle, okay? Because it's just a straight stitch. I'm just going to straight line stitch it all the way down, okay? So give me a second and I'll be back. Okay. So can you see my third row of stitching? So I have one at the top, in the middle, and on the edge. And if you notice, my thread is like a variegated thread. That's why you see some of the thread you can see and some parts you can't, because it's a variegated thread. So see right here where it's a little darker than the rest of this thread, it's a variegated thread. Okay, so just in case anybody was wondering. All right, so now we have our zipper. We have it put in. Okay. Let me go back to the other table so I can show you how to do it, which is really, really simple. All you're doing is folding. Hold on. All you're doing. So this is my fabric. Let me move y'all over this way. Okay. This is my fabric. Okay. This is my main fabric showing up here. All I'm going to do is fold this onto itself. So this is my lining fabric. So all I did was take my main fabric, fold it onto itself just like this. I'm going to line this up, the edge. Line the edge up. Take the top part of my fold. So let me make sure I can show you this. Okay, hold on. So this is the main fabric. Okay, so you see, hold on. You see how it's like a little house. It goes up and then it starts to come down. My house is up and it starts to come down. I'm just going to fold my main fabric onto itself, just like this. I'm going to clip the bottom just so it'll stay still while I show you this. This is the hard part that's coming up, but it's durable if you take your time, okay? So this is what it should look like once you just fold it one time onto itself, okay? So now I'm going to take this top part and I'm going to fold it down onto the zipper. Just make sure that your zipper, you have no space. So you want your zipper teeth to be touching. So hold on, let me bring it close. You see how my zipper teeth are touching? I'm just pulling it back so you can see. I just folded this top flap, folded it down to meet the zipper in the middle. All right. So this is where it kind of get a little tricky, but all you're doing is making sure that this lays flat. I'm going to clip it on this edge, and then I'm just going to stick a pin in the top to keep it from moving. So this is how it should look once you make sure that the zipper teeth just meet. That you just want them to kind of kiss a little bit, all right? So now I'm going to get my zipper pull. And I think I'm going to change the color. Let me see. Just because I want to zhuzh mine up a little bit. So let me see if I have any other. And I ordered these zipper pulls off of Amazon. These are number 3 zipper pulls. So when you order zipper pulls, make sure you order in the right size for the project or the zippers that you buy. Okay. So I have continuous zippers, zipper tape, and it is a number 3. All right. I really try to use number 5, but I had already ordered all of this stuff before I realized that the number 5 zippers are better than the number 3. But I'm going to use what I have. Okay. I'm going to use it. All right. So with this being like this, I'm just making sure that mine is straight. Okay, so I'm going to use this yellow zipper tab. Okay, so with the zipper tabs, you have this rounded edge. You have the rounded edge of the zipper tab. This is considered the front. And then the back is squared. Hopefully you can see that. This is the back. And this is the front of the zipper where it's rounded. Okay. You're going to take the rounded edge of your zipper to pull and push and pull your zipper. Okay. But the first thing you want to do after pinning is just cut your zipper and try to make it even. Okay. It may not be completely even, but give yourself enough room to utilize and be able to hold the zipper while you play with the zipper tape. Okay. So you're going to take the front, which is the rounded edge of your zipper. You're going to put one end inside, and then you're going to take the other and put it in. And then my trick is to take my finger and place it on the zipper tape and the other side of the zipper tape. So like I'm nesting my fingers in between the zipper pull, pressing down on it. So put a little pressure on it. They sell zipper jigs. You can buy a zipper jig. And then I'm just going to pull my zipper and pull it closed. So now my zipper is fully closed. I got a little wrinkle, but guess what? I haven't really sewn this down yet, so I can adjust. Let me show you the little wrinkle. I can adjust this so that it will lay flat before I actually sew this side together. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to just play with it while it's zipped to see if I can get it to lay flat. And mine may be like this because is, you know, I have a lot of fabric going on under here. You can also take your iron and kind of just iron this out a little bit if you want to. So now that we have our zipper closed, what we're going to do is this is what I'm doing. You don't have, I mean, I'm telling you what needs to happen at this moment, okay? In order for you not to lose your zipper, I'm just going to take a piece of needle and thread, and I'm just going to close off my zipper at the end. So let me get a needle and thread. You know what? We're going to sew this. All we doing is sewing the zipper. See, nothing is at the back. Just sew across the zipper so it will stay closed. I'm going to use my sewing machine. Give me 1 second. I'm going to bring it back so you can see me do this. And I'm going to flip it so I know that I'm not sewing this and this. I'm just sewing the extended part of the zipper. So let me see. And I did not take off, and it doesn't matter where, just don't sew your bag together. Okay, you just want to keep the zipper from your zipper teeth from coming off. Okay, I'm gonna sew it one more time. I have enough, but I just want to make sure that I have enough of stitching. Okay. You can do this or sew over the nylon zippers. Okay. All right. So this is what I just sewed. You see that? I just sewed to keep my zipper tab in place. Watch this. So when I unzip my zipper, it won't come off because I just sewed it down. Okay. So I'm going to close it just a little bit because we're about to sew this side and this side, and I don't want my zipper pull in the way, but I want to open it because this is how I'm about to turn this bag right side out or inside in, the wrong way around. Because so many people call it so many different things. So I'm trying to make sure that I cover it all. So I'm just going to flip my bag inside out or right side in or right way round or whatever you want to call it. Making sure that this lays flat. And now I am going to go to the sewing machine and I'm going to close all of this up. See how this is peekabooing? I'm going to close it up. And we're going to need and make sure it stays folded. Well, I mean, like you want to make sure that it's in the shape of the bag, of your bag. So I'm just going to put a pin because I see that that's going to be a problem once I turn it over. Okay. So I'm just going to take my sewing machine. I still have my stitch in the ditch foot on, so I'm going to take that off and get my 1/4 foot. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, let me see. Nope, it's not under here. Oh boy. Okay. Give me a second. Let me go find it. Well, apparently, I don't know what I did with it just that quick. So I'm just going to use my regular standard foot. This is the standard sewing foot. Hopefully you can see it. Oh, Lord. This is a standard sewing foot. Okay, that's what I'm using. Just gonna drop it in. Put it down and then drop my pressing foot down. I'll find the 1/4 inch foot probably when I'm done, but for now, we just gonna go with this. Okay, so now I'm just going to sew straight down. And I'm going to, let me move my needle. I'm putting my needle back in the 0 position. And for this, I'm going to change my stitch length to 2.5 millimeter stitch because my bag, I'm going to be able to use the inside of my bag. And I just want to make sure that it's sturdy, okay? And I'm going to start stitching and back stitch a couple of times in the top. And I'm still using about a scant of a 1/4 inch. I'm going to go slow over my zipper, but I am going to back tack several times because I need my zipper to stay, I need it to stay in. Let me know in the comments if you're going to try this and if you felt like I explained this well enough for you to do. I'm back tacking at the bottom and I'm sewing off of the machine. Okay, I sewed all the way off of the machine. And then I'm going to come back and sew the bottom. And I'm going to back stitch. And then I'm just going to sew straight. Y'all probably like, girl, we ain't seen the finish yet, so we don't know if you did a good job or not. Okay. Now we're going to cut off this excess zipper. We no longer need it. So this is the corner that I stitched. Hold on. I'm going to take this and chop off the edge. Just make a little like that. On this corner, do the same thing. Just don't cut the stitches that you just stitched. And I'm going to cut this corner off. And then that's it. So you can add bias binding to the inside of this bag if you like. For the purpose of this video, I will not. But you can take that bias binding that I used on the front and actually put the bias tape on this edge and this edge. You don't have to worry about this edge because it's already pre-folded, okay? So you don't have to bias tape or bind this side of the bag. You only have to do this side and this side that you just sewed, okay? You don't even have to worry about the top. And I will go back and do the bias binding for the inside. I just don't feel like I need to do it again during this video. So now I'm going to take this pin out and then we're going to go reach into where the zipper is. And we're going to turn our bag right side out right way, round, pretty side up. Whatever you want to call it. It's whatever, it's whatever, it's whatever. All right, so I'm going to get one of my little chopsticks. Oh, wait, I got my little stiletto thingy. And you're going to push out your corners. And mine is just a little bit bulky because of my batting. But you can get nice corners out if you just, you know, go with it. I don't know why this one is not coming out. There it goes. Okay. Then I'm just going to flip this. And then pull your corners out. Push your corners out. Okay, so let me get the Kindle looking thing and let's see if it fits. It's old. Look at that. So it's sliding right in. And then we're going to zip it and see what it looks like. Okay, girl. How stinking cute is this? How stinking cute is this, y'all? How stinking cute. And so this is the back. And then this is the inside. It's just that one, the yellow by itself. So let me know in the comments if you're going to do this. Remember, you don't have to quilt your fabric if you don't want to. I just thought it gave it a nice look with the quilted lines. And yeah, I love it. Okay, so I love you. And again, come back for more if you like these types of videos and tutorials. They're a little lengthy, but I think that a person who needs step by step will appreciate the length of this video and all of the work that I put into this, making this video for you. Okay. So see you on the next one. Hold on. Let me show you something.